Hey y'all, it's Courtney, and I am back with another video, and today I am feeling like a sexy witch, y'all. I've told you guys, this time of year, this is my time to thrive. Like, it's my time. Seriously though, so I don't think I even told you guys. I'll talk about it in a different video, but I made this today. I just love this time of year. I've got my little, gravestone scarf, and it's a whole mood right now. But anyways, so today's video is very serious to me and very near and dear to me, and so I'm gonna get into my disclaimer right now. I have two I want to make, but you guys will have to forgive me if I'm not very articulate in what I'm trying to say today, because this subject, I've been stewing on this since the day I saw it uploaded. So let me first say this to get to my next point. I do not want to be one of those YouTubers that builds my channel off of somebody else's back, aka Pastel Belle. I made a video about her the other day. It did get views. It did get a lot of interaction. But I was not planning on making another video about her, let alone this soon. But when I saw this video, it's been 4 or 5 days since it was uploaded, and ever since then I've just been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I'm glad I didn't make a video. I'm glad I didn't jump on it right then, because my views, I've had enough time to think about it now. And I really sat back and thought about why it bothered me so badly. So this video is not necessarily just about Pastel Belle. It's really not. But she is what got me, because I saw what video she uploaded, and it really got me thinking about why that bothered me so badly. So this is about a little girl named Sophie. I'm not going to use her last name because that's one of the things that really bothered me, but we'll get into that. But she's in a really bad place right now, and I really think that this story affected me so much because I am a childhood sexual assault victim myself, survivor, victim, whatever you want to call it. I call it survivor because I'm stronger today than I've ever been. So I am a survivor. And B, I went through what that father's going through, fighting for a child that was clearly being abused and neglected and just treated horribly. She was in a hoarder house, hoarded animals and things, just severely neglected. It was a really bad situation, and we fought for 5 years to get our child. And we got her about a year and a half ago, full time. Legally, she had already been staying with us for a little while, but legally she became under our custody about a year and a half ago. So that little girl's fight really gets me here, because I remember being that parent, having to be like, I have to send you back. If I don't send you back, they will call the cops on me, and then I'll go to jail for kidnapping. And then hard to tell how long it'll be till I see you again. So my first gut reaction was like, what the fuck? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? But I understand at the same time, because I was just there 2 years ago, having to console my crying child about why she had to go back to people that she hated. Because if I didn't, then I probably would never win, because they would see me as unstable and illogical. Because if I can't not kidnap my stepdaughter, then I say stepdaughter just so everybody's clear on how she's related and stuff. To me, she's not my stepdaughter. I've been the only mother that she's known since she was 4 years old. That is my child. Her mother's never been in the picture. Her mother's a piece of garbage. I'm sorry. I would never say that to her, but it is what it is. So I understand this man's fight, and I think that's why this video bothered me so deeply. So I just want to make that clear, that why this video really got to me as much as it did, because I can understand it from both sides. Being the child that's being abused, and having a child that I was fighting for myself. and it being a very long, hard fight to finally get her out of harm's way. So, if you guys don't know, there's a little girl named Sophie. Hashtag I stand with Sophie, all lowercase. You can search that if you want. I don't even recommend it because it's awful. You can't unhear her cries and her trauma. And I guess it just really bothered me seeing all these people plastering it all over the internet, because why? My problem with Pastel Belle was, like, she used the little girl's full legal name, first off. Second off, she could have blurred her face or something, anything. Like, whatever happened to child victims being anonymous so that maybe one day they could grow up to live a semi-normal life? I know that whenever I was 12, this little girl's 9 years old, because I saw a video of her and her dad talking. He said, "You're almost 10." So this little girl's 9 years old. And I remember whenever I was 12, I did everything in my power to make distance between me and my trauma. I pretended like it didn't happen. I told myself that it was okay and that it wasn't that big of a deal. And I told myself anything that I could to make it less traumatic than what it was, so that I could just bury it back and forget about it. And for a long time, I'm not going to say it worked, because I've been affected by it my whole life. I have intimacy issues still today. I am not a cuddly, huggy, lovey person. Some people, sexual abuse pushes them the opposite way and they get very promiscuous. Other people, it pushes them the exact opposite way and it scares them off from intimacy and affection and loving, and that's what it did to me. And I'm still working today, 30 years old, to try to be more affectionate with my husband. Like, how fucking... I have to work to be affectionate. Isn't that awful? And I got the luxury of not having my trauma exploited. And that's what I'm saying, is like, I tried my hardest to put distance between me and my trauma, and for a very long time it worked, until I saw this person, I think at 26 or 27. And the only thing, I'm sorry, I know this is like kind of rude. I didn't even think about that, but please just forget I did that. But I had kind of mentioned to my husband that this dude was a creep and not to trust him around children. But it took me all the way until I was 26, almost 27 years old to tell what exactly happened. And the only reason why I told my story was because I wanted my daughter to know what can happen when you're not even doing things you shouldn't be. Let alone if you are, going down a bad path. Not saying that little girl was. That little girl did nothing wrong. That little girl is obviously traumatized, and my heart is breaking for her. Because like I said, I know. And the fact that her trauma is being exploited breaks my fucking heart. And the point that I keep trying to make, and like I said, I'm so sorry that I'm not very articulate in this video. It's because, like, my mind is just racing a million miles a minute on, like, different ways I'm thinking about this, because I can see it about a million, and you guys that watch me a lot, I'm really good at being able to see situations from almost every side. So part of me is like, I tried so hard whenever I was a kid to, make myself and my trauma, not the same, what's the words I'm looking for? Not distance myself from it, but detach myself from it. I tried to detach myself from my trauma. But this little girl, her full name is being used, her face is all over the internet, tons of YouTube videos. Pastel Belle has hundreds of thousands of people watching her videos. And yes, I know that cases like this, people do need to be aware that this does happen. And people do need to see this kind of stuff so they believe their children. And they can help their children. I don't quite know what this is doing for her. other than A, exploiting her trauma, and B, she's never going to be able to have that normal life. That little girl is forever now going to be known as, maybe not by everybody, of course, but people that follow this kind of stuff. And she says, oh, my name is Sophie. And then they see that face and they're like, oh my God, I think I know who you are. She's going to have to relive that trauma forever. That trauma is always going to be the first thing that people see when they see her or hear her name. I don't know why I thought this, but at one time I thought that, they tried to keep child victims anonymous to prevent them from their life being affected forever by trauma or something that was done to them. Maybe I'm wrong in that. I don't know. I do know that, like, child murderers and child criminals, their names are protected sometimes because they're children. So I don't understand. And I mean, I know that the father put these videos out, and part of me at first was like, why would you record this? But like I said, I'm glad I waited to put this video out because it gave me time to really think about everything. My first instinct as a mother was to be like, why are you doing this? Why would you do this to your child? She's doing this and you're standing there recording? But then I could reel it in and really think about it. And I do get it. Sometimes CPS does not take you seriously. My child, I never called personally because I knew it wouldn't do anything anyways. Because in 2 years, 13 calls from all different people. Never the same caller twice. A random man at a gas station called because where they were from is really rural and they all, everybody knows everybody. If you're in the gas station, you're going to know everybody else that's in the gas station, or at least know their name or where they live or, something about them. But some random man in the gas station called because my daughter was telling her friend in the gas station that they didn't have any food in the house. I didn't even know this until obviously we were in court again for the third time. But the child abuse advocacy had been involved in my child's life for a while because they had been fighting for her. But we didn't know that because nobody told us anything because she wasn't under our custody. But sometimes CPS does not take you seriously. They went out there for 13 times and I'm not going to say who she used to live with, but the person that she was living with would brag because they would say, oh, I would just go out, I would go and meet them in the driveway and cry a little bit and they would feel bad and leave. They would brag. Nothing was ever done. So I understand that sometimes maybe you do need proof of, like, look at my kid breaking down. Like, maybe they need to see it with their own eyes to get, like, how horrendous this really is. So I can understand a little bit recording things, but I don't understand then uploading it to the internet. I don't know what the idea was with that, but I'm not going to judge that parent because you know what? I'm sure in his mind he's just trying to do something for his child because he obviously loves her or he wouldn't be trying to fight for her. I know that I'm pretty sure GoFundMe took down the father's GoFundMe page, basically. Or no, the judge made it to where he can't access those funds. Why, I don't know. But there is a PayPal page if anybody would like to donate to that cause. And I haven't even mentioned what happened yet. I'm so sorry. Like I said, not very good at articulating in this. So basically what happened was this little girl, she's 9 years old. She went with her dad for the weekend or summer or whatever. And she starts telling the dad she doesn't want to go back with her mom. Dad's like, I have to send you back. I can't not send you back. She's screaming and throwing a fit and this and that. She is... Sorry, when I start getting a little bit worked up, I start getting acid reflux and stuff. She was self-harming in this video. So there is no doubt in my mind, this child, something happened to her. There's something going on. And I'll tell you one thing, if somebody took my child's trauma of her self-harming and uploaded it to their channel for views and attention, I would find them. And that's not a threat. It's not a threat. No, I don't mean it like that. Well, you take it how you want to, but I would find them if that was my child. Her self-harm being plastered on the internet. But anyway, so this little girl is saying she doesn't want to go back, and they're saying you have to. She then breaks down and tells her dad that her stepfather is sexually abusing her, and that he's been trying to sexually assault her, and that she's fought him and fought him and fought him, but she's tired of fighting him. How heartbreaking is that? She's tired of fighting. She's begging not to go back. The grandmother is literally trying to unbuckle the seatbelt and like pulling her out of the car, physically pulling her out of the car, and the little girl is screaming. Like, literally, that scream is stuck in my head. Like, I can't forget it. Before they met with the grandma, he's recording her, and he's like, oh, okay, well, we gotta go to your mom's. And she's like, no, I'm not going back. And he's like, oh, honey, no, we really gotta go. And she's like, she can wait. I'm not going back right now. And the dad's like, you have to go back. And she runs off. He has trouble even talking to her about going home. And I can't do this justice of what exactly the videos entail. But it's just really horrible. The grandmother's trying to drag her out of the car, telling her that she's lying, that never happened to her. If she would be a good girl and listen, then things wouldn't be so bad for her. Almost blaming her if she was abused, which I think that they were saying that her mother, she said that her mother was physically abusive as well. Maybe I got that wrong, but apparently she's supposed to be in somebody else's custody in a unknown location for her own safety. But there's a recorded Skype call with her father where you can tell in the background somebody is coaching her, which the judge said is not allowed. Obviously, nobody is, I don't think it's legal to coach your child into saying anything, especially when there's a court case. But at one point, the father asks, are you safe? And you can hear a man in the background saying, tell him you're safe. And the judge also ordered that no males be around the girl or her brothers and sisters, other than family members, like the grandfather or the dad, or, close family members. And the grandmother's not married, so they're guessing that the boyfriend's still there and coaching the little girl to say that she's safe. And throughout the whole Skype call, she's signaling to her father. I think she's trying to tell him that they're recording their Skype call, which he's recording too, so, I mean, obviously he's not going to say anything if he's recording as well, which I'm not saying he would have said anything wrong anyways, because he's fighting for her, not against her, so why would he say anything wrong? But the point being is she's trying to signal her father that, like, the mother is recording the call, and she wasn't even supposed to be with the mother, but the mother is up walking around the whole time, and you can tell, like, she's being coached in the background, because when somebody, like, you're talking to somebody, and you can tell that somebody else is talking in the background, because they keep looking towards somebody, that's what was going on. And she kept telling her dad, well, I'm just going to tell you, but she doesn't get to, because somebody's watching. And if she was with, somebody she felt safe with, she would feel like she'd be able to tell her dad whatever while she was on Skype with him. So, yeah, this is just so sad. And I just have a really big issue with, like, and I understand spreading awareness. I get it. But, like, why do we need to upload the whole full videos of this girl breaking down? These videos are going to be there forever. When she grows up, if she gets a boyfriend when she's 20 years old and he types her name into Google, do you know what's going to pop up? Her trauma. If she goes to an interview. Somebody wants to, because people do this all the time. You meet somebody, you Google them. I mean, I don't really do that to people because, I don't have a lot of people in my life, to be honest, and there's reasons for that, because I don't fucking trust people. I have my few online friends here. I can count them on two hands, I'll say. But my actual friends, people that I feel like I can count on, I count them on one hand. But it's just really sad to me that this girl will never get away from her trauma. And I don't think people are thinking about that side of it. But I am, because I've been on both sides of that coin. And if it were my child and her breakdowns, because I remember them like they were yesterday, her breakdowns, sobbing and crying and begging not to go back, if those were uploaded to some punk's YouTube channel, oh my god, I would not be happy. And like I said, I don't think that the dad's really even against the YouTube stuff, and I'm sure he has his reasons, but I don't know. I just feel like, isn't there a better way other than exploiting what happened to her, or what's happening to her, because she's still going through it? I just hope that father does get custody. I know that it's very hard for the fathers to get custody a lot of the time, because it wasn't even the mother that we were fighting for our child from. It was a family member, but not the mother. The mother's in and out of prison all the time. So there you go. And we still had to fight for a very long time to get her in our full custody. I just can't imagine if that was my child. And I guess that's where I'm coming from. And I can't imagine how my child would feel if her, when she was younger, breaking down like that, somebody recorded it and it was on the internet. And people were sharing it thousands of times a day. Sorry, I had a little, congestion. I know that there's more that I wanted to say about this situation, but I'm just my mind is so scatterbrained on it because I just have so many different opposing feelings. Because like I said, in one way I completely understand what the point is. But in another way, in the way of thinking about the child first and what's best for the child, I just don't think that this is going to age well. For her in particular. She's never going to be able to get away from this. This is going to be who she is for the rest of her life. And I cannot imagine that being me. My trauma from whenever I was a child, I can't imagine people bringing it up all the time. I can't imagine looking up my own name and my trauma being the first thing that you would find about me. I know that, a lot of things are public record. Just because it is public record doesn't mean that you should share it around. I hope that you guys understand what I'm trying to say in this video, because I'm not saying that it's bad that people are trying to bring awareness to the situation. I just wish that maybe it would have been in a little more tasteful of a way. Not showing her self-harming. I get why it was filmed. Because to just tell somebody, oh, my child was doing this because they didn't want to go back with their mom. But then for the CPS worker or the judge or whoever to actually see it with their own eyes, it's going to affect you completely differently. To just hear it than to actually see it and see this child's emotion and clearly just... At one point, she's almost animalistic because she's just so desperate to not go with her grandmother, her maternal grandmother. The maternal grandmother promises to protect her and keep her away from the man and this and that, and to keep her away from the mother, but she clearly lied because the mother was there. So I heard some updates. Apparently father, or there's a new judge, which is good because the old judge